Joining us now is Adrain. He's the Secretary of State in Arizona, would be in charge in the 2024 election. He's also the former Democratic Maricopa County recorder. Thank you very much for your time, sir. I want to start with what people should think the Georgia indictment, what we saw out of the district attorney, means for, if anything, what's happening in Arizona as it relates to looking back at the 2020 election efforts.
Well, first, thanks for having me. And second, our very capable Attorney General, Chris Mays, news has reported already that they've got an ongoing investigation. Grand Canyon. Well, they're in the Grand Canyon state. I'm out of state right now, but we are making absolutely certain to cross all of the T's and dot all of the I's. That office is going to be very thorough. You may recall that as a candidate a year and a half ago, I called for investigation into some of the folks who were trying to overturn our election in Arizona. I continue stalwart against folks breaking the law when it comes to elections, election administration. And we're going to stay on the path of making sure that the law is followed. That includes, I'll make sure to note for folks, because I'm a former prosecutor myself, that all criminal defendants are presumed innocent by the law until they're proven guilty. And so hopefully justice will prevail in this. And we're looking very carefully at making sure that we are crossing T's and dotting I's in Arizona.
You know, that final point is a critical one and leads into another question that I want to ask Governor Katie Hobbs. She used to hold your job in 2020. She said yesterday that Arizona should press charges against the former president. Later, her communications director seemed to walk that back, since she misheard the question. The legal process should move ahead without political interference. Have you discussed this issue with Governor Hobbs? I know you guys were on the same ticket to some degree, or running in 2020 together. But since the investigation has launched, have you guys talked about this? Do you have any thoughts on her comments related to this?
No, I think the governor's office on the 9th floor will speak for and with the governor. From our perspective, we want to make sure that the rules are followed. As a matter of fact, in Arizona, the Secretary of State does not run elections. The Secretary of State is the regulator of those who do run the elections, our 15 counties. So we establish the playbook, much like the commissioner of a major league, and we let the teams go ahead and do all of the work. Excuse me. And so we are excited about making sure that we've got solid teams on the field in all of our 15 counties for the 2024 election. As far as the indictment is concerned, or future potential charges in Arizona, that's the Attorney General's job at this stage of the game, and we will support Chris Mays and her efforts and her team with any information, any background, any technical expertise that the Secretary's office may need to lend in the future.
You talk about the playbook, or kind of laying the groundwork for the teams to, I'm going to mix metaphors here, so I'll just stop. But the idea of you have a draft, or I believe you have an elections procedures manual that has made some changes, kind of moved in a different direction to some degree than Katie Hobbs, the now governor, did during her time in office. But it's also drawn the threat of a lawsuit from Republican state representative, from state lawmakers. What's your response to that?
Well, look, I'm the first Secretary of State in Arizona who actually administered elections prior to becoming Secretary of State in several decades. I know what the work is that the counties need to be doing and be prepared for. And this manual is actually for the counties. It's not for the legislature. It's not for the executive branch. It's for the counties. And with their input over the last 5 months, we worked diligently to make sure that they've got a rule book that they can work with. Remember, Arizona has not only the second largest voting jurisdiction in the United States in Maricopa County, but we have some of the smallest voting jurisdictions in the country. And so we've got to have rules that apply to everyone in our unique system, with very, very healthy, no excuse absentee voting by our ballot by mail system, and in-person voting on election day. So that combination of factors requires some high technical expertise. And, we get threatened with lawsuits all of the time. It is part and parcel of the political world that we like to stay out of. But if a lawsuit gets filed, I stand by the work of our election director and her team, and we will vigorously defend the work of the Secretary of State's office to help our counties run the best elections that Arizona's citizens deserve.
If this manual had been in place in 2020, what would have been different about how the election in Arizona played out?
Not much. As a matter of fact, a lot of the changes we are making are technical changes, and the manual really does just clarify what is in statute already. And statute cannot encompass all of the very specific technical things about elections. And so that's why the manual is promulgated. And under Arizona law, the legislature has pulled itself out of this process. They have given me the statutory authority to draft the procedure manual, and then the approval goes to the governor and the attorney general. If the legislature wants an active role in this, then they can change the rules that they made. But at this stage of the game, we are moving along very nicely. And the impact versus 2020 is really political as to outcomes. It's not technical as to the administration of the election. And that's the way we hope to keep it in Arizona.
All right. Arizona Secretary of State Adrian Fontes, thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to hear from him. Former President Trump